Hello, Sifu Anthony here. I'm here in Costa Rica, and behind me, what you see is actually a volcano. That's the volcano called Arenal in Costa Rica, a very famous and popular volcano here. And I'm here decompressing after my retreat, which I just finished a couple of days ago. And I'm here mainly to take in the hot springs, which are amazing. The hot springs here are literally warmed by the volcano, and they come out and they're just like these amazing pools, and they're very therapeutic, and it's a good way for me to sort of decompress. So, but while I'm here and on vacation, I love my work, so it's hard for me to take off from it, to take off completely. I want to talk to you a little bit about mistakes in qigong and tai chi, and really what we're talking about is how humans learn, or the art of learning, really. Now, there's a lot of confusion here, and it's super important. I've talked about this and blogged about this many times, but I need to keep talking about it because it's so important, because it makes all the difference for your own development with qigong and tai chi. Obviously, I'm in love with these arts, but you need to practice. And I seem to succeed in helping a lot of people fall in love with these arts. And yet, as often happens in relationships, falling in love isn't enough. You have to actually put in the work, and you have to put in effort that you might not have expected at the beginning. Sometimes people think that relationships are just smooth. You just meet, you fall in love, and they're smooth. And that's everybody who's been in a relationship for a while, or anybody who's been married, knows that that's not how it works. Right? You have to put in effort. The same is true of qigong and tai chi. And if people start learning qigong and tai chi, or meditation as well, they often have this. It's like a delusion, really, that it will just be a smooth sailing. And that's never the case. That's never been the case for any master. I've talked about the philosophy of failure and how failure is part of this, but it's really worth taking a good look at this subject. In many ways, what we're talking about is the art of learning, and it's an art. Like many arts, there's always this struggle to learn a new skill. If there wasn't a struggle to learn the new skill, then you would already be a master, right? So let's take, for example, me. Even after 25 years in martial arts and 20 years in Tai Chi and Qigong, I still have things to practice. I still have things to work on. And when I'm working on those new skills, there's struggle. I make mistakes. It's a constant process of making a little mistake, working on it, correcting it, and then going back and trying again. I remember this from my days in the music world, back when I was a serious classical violinist. There was this misconception that you play through a piece of music and it's flawless, and that's how violinists practice. And all the musicians out there are shaking their head by now, because that's not true. Practice for any musical instrument is a lot of breaking things down. If you're not working on fundamentals like scales and etudes and just basic stuff, then even if you're taking a piece of music, you're still breaking it down into little pieces, and while you're doing that, there's a lot of failure. I remember trying to explain this to somebody years ago, back when I was still playing violin a lot, and I tried to explain to them that I would rarely play through the music except in performance. This was a new concept to them. They just assumed that most of my time was spent playing the violin the way that everybody else heard me playing the violin, and that's not true. The way that I most often would hear myself play the violin would be breaking things down, perfecting one little phrase or one little section. And that's the art of learning Tai Chi and Qigong as well. For example, especially with Tai Chi, people think that you just go through the form. No, that's not productive. If you can go through the form from start to finish and it's really good, well, you should probably be spending your time on other things. Or you should be chunking down and working on this one section or this one move or one principle. So, for example, doing something with the breathing or focusing on the stillness and the motion. That's the art of practicing. That's the art of learning. So this will be very helpful for students of Qigong and Tai Chi, because you'll get much more comfortable with failure. It's not really failure, it's just the process of learning. And there's that challenge of, let me be very focused, concentrate for a little while, concentrate on fixing this one thing. That's a beautiful thing. It's fun, it's fulfilling when you can focus on something and perfect it. That's what being alive is about. That's why I think that humans should be lifelong learners, and that's why I think that arts like qigong and tai chi are so great for adults, especially because you can take these arts and go slow. See what I did there? You can go slow with your tai chi. You can go slow over time, perfecting at your own gradual pace. That's a beautiful thing, isn't it? So I'll continue to talk about this and write about this, but I just wanted to try to get you this, a peek into the art of learning. And this is from someone who has really spent a lot of time going deeply into a couple arts. The arts I've gone most deeply into, obviously, are the violin. I reached a very high standard at that. I don't really play so much anymore. Sorry, Mom. But I took all of that same discipline and understanding and the art of learning, and I just applied it to first karate. I reached a pretty high standard there as well. And then now then Shaolin Kung Fu and a few other styles, Kung Fu, and then Tai Chi, and of course lots of Qigong throughout all of that. And I'm going to continue. I'll be learning new arts throughout the rest of my life, and I'll be learning new aspects of Tai Chi, the Tai Chi sword or different aspects of the art. And it's this never-ending process. It's not like I've been practicing these arts for 20 years, so now when I go practice, everything is perfect. That's not really how it is. It might look perfect. So for example, if I'm doing simple Qigong moves, the moves themselves are so simple that, yeah, they look good. I'm not really perfecting the form anymore, but I'm perfecting the Zen mind, meditation, the breathing, the energy flow, the different dimensions or skills of what I'm doing with the energy. That's what I'm working on. So I hope this is helpful for you, because some of you, I feel like after college or maybe even after high school, you adopted this incorrect attitude that things have to be perfect and that there's no mistakes or there's no flaws in the art of learning, and that's just not true. Talk to any skilled artist in any field, anyone who has put in what we call their 10,000 hours. That's a very common term for mastery. So I put in my 10,000 hours into both the violin and Qigong and Tai Chi, and I'll tell you, but ask others if you don't believe me, that mastery is full of flaws. It's an up and down path. It's a bit chaotic sometimes. It's not just this smooth path. So if you're expecting it to be smooth, well, there's your mistake. And I'm not just saying that you have to grin and bear it, or I'm not saying no pain, no gain. What I'm saying is that this is beautiful, that this art of learning is a beautiful thing. It's this constant, it's like you're constantly a hero, because you constantly, you take up these little challenges, you focus on one thing in your practice, you take up this little challenge, and then you overcome it. You slay that dragon, and you just keep repeating that process endlessly over time. And as you do that, you gain these skills, these deep skills that society calls mastery. So if you look deeply into your own life, you'll probably find that you can relate to this. If you understand what I'm saying, you can relate to this. And I really hope that it is helpful for you in your lifelong pursuit of arts like Qigong and Tai Chi, even yoga, certainly meditation, any art like this. These are long-term arts. Embrace the art of learning, and you will not only have a more rewarding path to mastery, but you will recognize that this is a lifelong journey, the lifelong journey of learning. We are learning here for as long as we are here on this planet Earth. I hope this was helpful to you. Sifu Anthony signing off. It's getting a little dark here as the sun sets. I'm in La Fortuna in Costa Rica, and I hope you found this short little video blog helpful.